Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, according to recent reports, Manchester United are ready to pay €120 million for Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. €120 million equates to around 108 million in pounds sterling. But reportedly, we are not willing to pay this all in one go. We are going to be paying it in installments. So we are working out a financial package. So reportedly we're going to pay around £63 million up front right now. Then we're going to pay a further £27 million. And after that we're going to pay a further £18 million in the next couple of years. So it is in installments, and I think Borussia Dortmund are happy to accept this, because I don't think we can afford to pay all the £108 million all in one go due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, as I updated you on my video that I did yesterday regarding Jadon Sancho, it said that Manchester United are expected to complete the signing of Sancho on Friday, the 7th of August. Now, Borussia Dortmund have already set their deadline for the sale of Sancho, and they have told Man United that we have got until the 10th of August to sign the player, or, the deal is off. Now, there were stories coming out last week saying that Manchester United agreed an initial £60 million fee with Dortmund for Jadon Sancho. And it did mention, there would be like 30 or 40 million pounds in add-ons, obviously, based on Sancho's appearances, of how Manchester United progress in the Premier League and of how we progress in the Champions League. It also did mention last week that we had around these reports are stemming from the German press saying that we had an £89 million bid turned down for Sancho. But actually, Manchester United had, denied this. But throughout the course of this transfer saga regarding Sancho, Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. They have said several times that they want over £100 million. We said for so long, we was not willing to pay what Borussia Dortmund were demanding. It did say a few weeks ago we was only willing to pay £80 million for the player. Then obviously, it said before that we was only willing to pay £50 million for the player. But it's, very imperative that we get him on the board. He is our number one priority target, and he has been our number one priority target for a while. We first expressed our interest in Sancho back in 2017. And it also mentions that, we are planning a late swoop for the player. And we are looking to use the same transfer tactic, of how we signed it Bruno Fernandes. But I think, we're going to get now Sancho on the board that we have agreed to, meet their asking price. Because for so long, it's Borussia Dortmund's asking price has seemed to be the stumbling block. Don't forget, Fabrizio Romano's spoken about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga a few times. Christian Falk the other week spoken about it. And also too, Simon Stone from the BBC also spoken about it the other week. But I do expect Sancho to be our first signing in this summer transfer window. And our sixth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And our fifth permanent signing. We have got qualification for the Champions League. And obviously, that increases our chances of getting the player. If we didn't get qualification for the Champions League, then I don't think we'd have had any chance of getting Jadon Sancho on the board. It did say a good 3 or 4 weeks ago that Sancho's already agreed personal terms with the club. And it said that he's already agreed a contract with the football club. Now, it did say Sancho's got the choice of two numbers at Manchester United, and that is the number 7 and the number 11. More than likely, he will fulfill that number 7, because we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, and we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Borussia Dortmund have come to accept the fact that Sancho wants to leave, so they are now in the market looking for a replacement for him. It's recently said from the mainstream media that us getting Jadon Sancho could hinge on Dortmund getting Memphis Depay. Dortmund have also been in for Rashikov and Werder Bremen. They've also been in for Jonathan Eacock from Lille. So, they're looking at quite a few replacements for him. But got to make an admission regarding Dortmund. I think they have done some good recruitment in recent years. Obviously, they got Jude Bellingham the other week from Birmingham. They also got Erling Haaland in January. There were two players that we missed out on under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, they brought the likes of Julian Broughton, Thorgan Hazard in recent years and Emre Can. But on the other hand, they've let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. Borussia Dortmund only paid £8 million for Sancho. They got him from Manchester City back in 2017. The main explanation why Sancho left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first-team opportunities. But now this has been his third season with Borussia Dortmund. Analysed his performances in the few years he's been with them, his valuation has persistently grown. Sancho's got a contract still with Dortmund until 2022. Michael Zorg, Borussia Dortmund's director, was recently talking, and he said he hopes Sancho can remain at Dortmund for another season. But I've outlined the reasons why I want him at the football club. Well proven in the Premier League. I think he'd complement our attacking line really well. He's predominantly a right winger, and Man United are in search for the right winner. And plus, he has got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. There was stories coming out last week from Kicker saying that Jadon Sancho prefers a move to Liverpool over Manchester United. But yeah, I'm very, very convinced now that we are going to get the player on the board. We have been looking at a few alternatives to Sancho because I will make an admission, these cheaper solutions than him. It said, we looked at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke before. We looked at Ferran Torres from Valencia. We looked at Thiago Almeida. We've looked at him. We've looked at Ousmane Dembele. It said we inquired about Kingsley Coman the other week. But yeah, Jadon Sancho will definitely improve Manchester United. So yeah, now we've agreed to pay what Dortmund are demanding. I think, we are going to get him on the board. It is in 3 instalments, yeah. It's not all in one go. And I think, did it say today that Sancho's expected back in Borussia Dortmund training and all of that. And he is only the age of 21, isn't he, Sancho, if I'm right? So he's still, very, very young. So anyway, that's the breaking news regarding him. Now, I just want to give you some news regarding Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille. And I have been talking with you about him on a regular basis. So, according to RMC Sport, they have said that we have stepped our interest up in Gabriel Magalhaes because reportedly Man United have been in negotiations with his representatives over a possible move to Manchester United. Now, Gabriel Magalhaes is a centre-half, and obviously, Man United are in search for a centre-half. We're looking for someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Now, it did recently say that Gabriel Magalhaes' representatives, were in the UK to negotiate a move. He's had talks with us. I think they've had talks with Everton, and they've also had talks with Arsenal. Also, too, PSG and Napoli have been interested in him. He did say from Sky Sports last week that Napoli were emerged as the front runners to sign Gabriel Magalhaes. Napoli have already signed Victor Osimhen from Lille for around £45 million. It did say recently that Gabriel Magalhaes will make a decision on his future in the coming days. And it's mentioned that we've put a £27 million offer in with bonuses included. But that is a cheap solution. Gabriel Magalhaes is only the age of, 22. I think he's enjoyed 3 years with Lille. Lille did pay around 1.5 million for him from Avia. He also had loan spells with Troyes and Dynamo Zagreb. He has got a contract with Lille until 2023 as the player. But he's supposed to be a very, very good centre-half. So hopefully, we can get him on the board. And I think he's played around, is it 52 games since his arrival at Lille. For Lille, he's played 52 games, yeah. So that is the latest news regarding him. You already know the news, don't you, regarding Jack Grealish? Obviously, he's another one of our priority targets. Obviously, you know the news regarding Raul Jimenez. I was talking with you about Raul Jimenez, wasn't I, last week a lot? Because last week there was reports coming out from the Portuguese press saying that Raul Jimenez was allegedly on his way to Manchester United. But he did say that Raul Jimenez's preference has been revealed, and he said he's happy to stay at Wolves. But it did mention that Wolves had found their replacement for Raul Jimenez, and that was Paulinho from Braga. And it said Wolves agreed to pay around £27 million for the player. But Jorge Mendes has been working closely with Wolves for a while now. And he's been in the process of trying to find Wolves a replacement for Raul Jimenez. Like I said, Raul Jimenez would probably cost around maybe 60 or 70 million pounds. He did say recently that Juventus had put around the £72 million bidding for the player. Like I said, I'd take Raul Jimenez at Manchester United. He's well proven in the Premier League. His hold-up play is very, very good. He's a prolific goal scorer. Obviously, Wolves did get him last year permanently. Wolves did pay around, was it £34 million to get him permanently, because he was on loan with Wolves last year. But I think it's actually Wolves' most expensive signing. He has got a contract with Wolves until 2023. I think he's made a good 70 odd appearances in the Premier League for Wolves. But I think there's a lot of Manchester United fans that are very sceptical that we are going to get him on the board. In that particular story last week, it'd probably just been the media justifying their existence, because sometimes, that's what they do. But Raul Jimenez is in his late 20s. He is 29 years of age. So, the news on all the transfers. On my next video, I will be giving you a preview for the Manchester United last game, which is on Wednesday, 8 o'clock kickoff at Old Trafford in the Europa League last 16 second leg. Like I've said to you, Solskjaer will make rotation in the squad. It's mentioned that we are going to rest several key players for the games in the Europa League. And that's the right decision to do, to be quite honest with you. But like I've said to you, the Europa League is a priority for us. Because obviously, if we win the Europa League, it will be our first trophy under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and that's the first time since the late 1980s. And, we've not yet won a trophy under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think we are the favourites to win the Europa League, and that. I think, we can win the Europa League. But obviously, I think we've had a pretty good season. Got qualification for the Champions League. Also to, finish third. I think that's a fantastic achievement, because earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And reflects on that, Solskjaer was close to getting the sack as Manchester United manager. And the way we played earlier on in the season, you wouldn't have even thought we'd have finished in the top 10. But I've honestly got to say that Solskjaer's definitely proved his critics wrong. And I think he's delighted that he's proved his critics wrong, because I was very critical of him earlier on in the season, and so too a lot of Manchester United fans. But, we've seemed to have rejuvenated ourselves since January, since that 2-0 loss to Burnley. We've seen an upturn in form. Obviously, we're unbeaten in our last 14 Premier League games. Don't forget, went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. I think it was a shame that we did go out of the FA Cup, because I actually wanted Man United to win the FA Cup, but I still think, we did very, very well to progress to the semi-finals of the competition, And I have seen a lot of improvements under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like I've mentioned before, I think, he's promoted the youth very, very well throughout the course of this season. Like I said, our record against the top 6 sides throughout the course of the season, has been very, very good. obviously, beat Man City 3 times this season out of the 4 times we played them. And Solskjaer, became the first manager in history to beat Pep Guardiola 3 times in, is it one season? Drew with Liverpool, did the double over Leicester. Solskjaer's beaten Tottenham twice as a manager. Beaten Chelsea 3 times this season. That, so done very, very well against the top 6 sides. I've also got to say our recruitment's really, really improved under Solskjaer. Because we've been criticised for several years, reflects on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also been criticised for overpaying for players. But it's definitely improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think a lot of aspects of our game have really improved as well. But don't get me wrong, there's still improvements needed at the football club. I still think there's certain players that need to improve. I think we need to keep the ball better. We need to be slightly more clinical. We need to, look better defensively. We need to be quicker on the flanks and all of that. So improvements are still needed. I've got to say that Solskjaer's decision making has improved, but it still needs to improve slightly. There was a lot of games throughout the course of the season where he was very tactically naive, and he didn't really have a plan A or didn't have a plan B. But there's some games, on the other hand, where he showed a lot of tactical flexibility. And that, like I've said before, Solskjaer's made a lot of rotation throughout the course of the season. That's obviously reflects on the injuries that Man United have had. But don't forget, there was a period where Solskjaer went with the exact same team for 5 games in a row in the Premier League. And that's the first time Man United had done that since, February 1993. And that's a good 27 years ago now. So Solskjaer knows his best formation. He obviously knows his best 11. But there you go. To be fair to Solskjaer, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in to the football club. A lot of players have left since Solskjaer came in. That's another good thing, he has done. So there's definitely no positive to take from his tenure so far. Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now over a year and a half. But like I said to you, even if we hadn't got qualification for the Champions League, Solskjaer would have still been Manchester United manager next season. Because like I've said to you before, it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while. Like I've said to you before, the vast majority of this team is not Solskjaer's. Solskjaer is, inheriting players either from the Mourinho era. There's still a few players either from the Van Gaal era. And there's still Matt either from the Moyes era. And there's still a few players either from the Ferguson era he's inheriting. But actually, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho. So let's just put that into the equation. But next season will be Solskjaer's second full season at the football club. But like I said, next season is the big test for Solskjaer. It really is, because I said next season our expectations will be to challenge for the Premier League title. We want to be up there, competing with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool, and we've got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool, because this has been the 7th season now we've failed to mount any kind of title challenge up, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. And I'm hopeful that we can win a title under Solskjaer. And if we can win a title under Solskjaer, I know it will be our 21st overall, because obviously, at the moment we've won 20, and obviously, 13 of them are Premier Leagues. 13 of them, are Premier Leagues, and that's as it stands at the moment. We are the most successful team in Premier League history. Like he updated you recently, the Man United was talking, and he says that Man United must fight Man City and Liverpool for the title next season. And he said, we can't allow another club to win a trophy with so many games to spare. And he said, we've just got to find a way to stop, Liverpool's dominance. But I think, we can be up there next season. It depends on what players we bring in this summer transfer window. Obviously, we know our transfer budget for this summer transfer window. We've got Solskjaer's got around £140 million to spend. I think it did confirm just before the resumption of the season anyway that we'd taken around a £140 million loan to help us get the players that we do want in. But Solskjaer's already outlined his transfer plans. He outlined his transfer plans after we got qualification for the Champions League. I think we did get around an extra. I think we got an extra £70 million in revenue for getting qualification for the Champions League and that. Solskjaer's already said he does want to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. Woodward, I think, said the same thing. Woodward said he wants 3 signings after we've completed the signing of Jadon Sancho. But Solskjaer has identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Don't forget, obviously wants to get a centre half in. I think he's looking to recommend the left back in. Obviously, we've got 2 predominant left backs in our squad, and that is Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. Obviously, Luke Shaw is our first choice left back. He probably will remain our first choice left back for next season. He's not going to be playing for the rest of this season because he's out with injury, so he won't be involved in any of our Europa League games. He's got an ankle injury, as Luke Shaw. Got this injury towards the end of the season. Don't forget he missed the first part of the Premier League season with an injury as well. But my only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. But this has been Luke Shaw's 6th season now at Man United. We paid around £30 million in from Southampton back in 2014. I still think, Williams has had a very, very good season, though. This was Brandon Williams' first season in the senior squad. But Luke Shaw's obviously more experienced. I think we're looking to recommend a holding midfielder in, but there's a lot of Man United fans that don't think, we'll get a holding midfielder into the football club. Obviously, we want to get a winner. That's going to be Sancho. It's recently said as well that we're no longer in search for a striker, but it did say before that we wanted to recommend a striker in. I personally think that, Man United do need a striker. I know we've got a lot of good attacking players. Obviously, Martial's done very, very well this season in that central role. He has been playing in that number 9 role. Martial scored 22 goals in all competitions this season, and Martial has got 51 goals for the football club in the Premier League. And this has been his 5th season, yeah. But like I've said before, Martial's had 2 good seasons out of the 5 seasons he's been at Man United. He's done well this season under Solskjaer, and he did well in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era, Anthony Martial. But if we don't sign a striker, then obviously, we'll keep Anthony Martial in the number 9. Rashford, like I said, at the first part of the season, didn't really make an impact. Then obviously, he had that back injury, was out for quite a few months. And then towards the end of the season was okay, but weren't at his best. But I think, Marcus Rashford has been mentioned as one of our best players of the season. But he was out of injury for a while, don't forget. But definitely, Rashford's still the foreseeable future for Man United. Obviously Rashford has been playing out wide this season. Mason Greenwood, he's just won Player of the Month. I want to confirm that with you. Mason Greenwood's had a very, very good season for Man United. Obviously, for the vast majority of the season, a lot of Mason Greenwood's appearances were coming from the bench. He wasn't getting starts, but towards the end of the season, Mason Greenwood started getting starts, and obviously, we was playing him ahead of Daniel James and all of that. Obviously, we've got Agallo. He's another attacking player we've got. Obviously, we got him on deadline day in January. We got him on loan, Odi and Agallo. We made the right decision by getting him in. We obviously brought him in as a cover up to Marcus Rashford, because at that point Marcus Rashford was out with a back injury. But Agallo, has done very, very well for us since he's come in. Obviously, he was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup. Just before the resumption of the season, don't forget, we had extended Odi Agallo's loan until January 2021. With no option to buy him, or there's no obligation to buy. So at the end of his loan, Odi Agallo's, he will go back to Shanghai Shenhua, I should presume, and that. But obviously, now his starts will be limited, but could get some starts in the Europa League games, could Ighalo. So yes, the Solskjaer's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. But like I said, Solskjaer's got big decisions to make in this summer transfer window. Obviously, what players he's going to bring in and what players, he's going to get rid of. I think we're going to get rid of at least 7 players in this summer transfer window. Obviously, we're looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We're also, I'm hopeful we can get rid of Andres Pereira. Sanchez, hopefully we can get rid of him permanently. You already know the news regarding Alexis Sanchez, don't you? I gave you the news regarding him yesterday, was it? Obviously, we've revealed our asking price. We want around £15 million for Sanchez. Inter Milan, are willing to pay around, is it 9 or 10 million pounds for Sanchez? It did recently say from the an Italian media outlet, he said that Inter Milan had a loan plus an obligation to buy Sanchez for £13 million turned down by Manchester United. But Inter Milan did admit themselves that they were interested in getting Sanchez permanently. Sanchez, did join Inter Milan on a 10-month loan last summer. Obviously, it didn't include no option or no obligation to buy at the end of the loan. I think Sanchez is set to return to Man United. Is it on the 5th or the 6th of August? He's going to return to the club. But I want us, to get rid of him permanently. I don't think we'll let Inter Milan extend his loan for another season. But if we get rid of him permanently, we'll free up our wage rule completely, because Sanchez's wages at Man United are 400 grand a week, rising up to 500 grand a week based on the image rights and the bonuses. We're still paying him around 300 grand a week now, despite the fact that he has, been on loan with Inter Milan. Sanchez has still got a contract with us until 2022. Solskjaer said he'd take him back. He'd be happy to give him another opportunity, but Sanchez is actually refusing to come back to the football club. There'd be no point in coming back anyway, because he wouldn't get in the team. He'd be basically used as a squad player, wouldn't he? And Sanchez, did enjoy a difficult 18 months at Man United. I'm hopeful, we can get rid of Smalling permanently. He's out on loan with Rome at the moment. I give you the latest news regarding Smalling yesterday, didn't I? Well, it actually said that Smalling's set to return to Manchester United this week. And he's not going to be playing in any of Roma's games in the Europa League. Reportedly, Roma failed to extend his loan. Now, I think we've said we want around £18 million to let Chris Smalling go. But reportedly Roma are only willing to pay like 16 million, I heard, so they have actually set their limit. Roma have obviously been talking about extending Chris Smalling's loan for another season, then having the obligation to buy him at the end of that current loan. Roma did pay around 2.7 million last summer to get Smalling on loan, but I think we need to try and get rid of him permanently. Also too, we need to get rid of Rojo permanently. He's out on loan at Estudiantes at the moment. I think we also need to get rid of Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot's obviously not good enough to represent Man United. He's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. He only made one start in the Premier League this season because Diego Dalot had a few injuries earlier on in the season. But we did get him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We did pay around £19 million for Dalot. That's how much we paid for him from Porto, and Dalot has got a contract with us until 2023. So there I think the players Man United need to get rid of. Do you think we'll sell Juan Mata in this summer transfer window? I don't think we'll sell Juan Mata in this summer transfer window. Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United. This has been Juan Mata's 6th season at the football club. We did pay just under £40 million in from Chelsea back in 2014. He doesn't really get in the team now, but when he does, he does make a fantastic impact. I think Solskjaer's decided on what players he's going to loan now. We are going to loan some young players out. I think Garn's going to go out on loan. We should loan Tahith Chon out, because he isn't really getting in the team. I think Dylan Levitt, we'll probably loan Dylan Levitt out. If we sign when we get Sancho, I think we'll loan Daniel James out, because obviously Daniel James isn't going to get in the team. Kova, I think we're also going to loan him out. I think Man United should also loan Tuan Zebe and Fosu Mensah out, because obviously they don't get in the team a lot. So decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window. But this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. Obviously, so far Solskjaer's made 4 permanent signings at the football club and spent just over £200 million. But at the start of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure, he did actually say he wanted to make around 9 signings. He actually agreed this with Mike Phelan. Earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he did actually say he did work out a transfer strategy, and he did say, he wanted to recruit young British talents to Manchester United, because 3 of the 5 players he's brought in so far, of course, are British and that. Of course, are British. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward. He's also got the backing of the Glazers. He's, got the backing of the board and all of that. Yeah. But I still don't know if he's the foreseeable future for Manchester United. I wanted to succeed under Solskjaer because I like Solskjaer a lot. You know, at the end of the day, he was a club legend, great player for the football club for 11 years, and you know, reflecting how long he's been with us now, he's got that managerial experience behind him. You know, Man United is the third club in his managerial career. You know, it is his third club in his managerial career, and you know, Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era. Obviously, you know, sacked three managers since the Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho. And that, you know, so we haven't really got a structure to keep sacking managers. Obviously, you know, we haven't dominated English football since the Ferguson era. You know, Ferguson enjoyed 20 odd years at Man United. Obviously, you know, enjoyed over 20 odd years of success because let's put into the equation, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United, so it took him time to settle in. And like I said to you recently, you know, can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be the next Alex Ferguson? You know, can he be in that? But like I said, there's been problems at the club for several years, you know, not only, you know, with the managers that we've had, you know, obviously there's been a lot of problems with the club's ownership. The Glazers, there's been problems with the board. You know, there's also been a lot of problems with, you know, Ed Woodward and that. You know, there's been a lot of problems, you know, with certain players and that. Because a lot of the players we've recruited in the last 7 years, you know, haven't been the right calibre players for Manchester United, let's be honest. Yeah. Obviously, as well, Solskjaer's got a goalkeeping decision to make. You know, he really has because, you know, David De Gea, you know, I don't think he should be our number one for next season. I think Dean Henderson should be our number one for next season, but Solskjaer did recently say that Dean Henderson is not ready yet to become number one. There's been reports coming out saying that we've recently been interested in Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester. You know, don't forget. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.